I hope you're looking forward to this. This should be very exciting. I wonder what is the Capcom information here that they're teasing. Like 35 minutes of Street Fighter 5. It can't just be Dan. Why would they do 35 minutes? Okay. This is why we're tuning into this, right? 35 minutes of disappointment. I'm ready. I hope you guys are ready too. Let's do this.
So today I'll be focusing on the summer update and one of the new characters who are coming to the game. We're going to be talking about Dan.
It's actually hilarious that they said summer update. Why do they even say summer update? It's just an ad for SF5. You think that's why it's going to take 35 minutes? That's probably that. The most part is actually just them advertising Champion Edition.
For those edition to single player, now is a great time to jump online and find opponents to fight. I'm sure there's going to be lots around for you to do.
Now is a good time to play online. He actually said that. Now that we completely annihilated the netcode, now's a good time to play online. I love how they put 2019 and they put Seth in there as if Seth was released in 2019. Remember when I said it's complete bullshit, the fact that Capcom redefined what a season is? Here you can see it in full effect. Seth should be in the 2020 era. Seth was not released in 2019. Yeah, they didn't want to put Seth there because it would look bad. Right, so they redefined what happened. Like they... Seth is so broken, he redefines time itself.
We actually brought a clip today that demonstrates how Dan's distinct moves and taunts from previous games were brought into Street Fighter V.
A trailer?
Take a look at
trailer time? No? Probably not.
So, talking about his normal attacks first, well, actually, we got his normal attacks and some ultimate attacks and some throws and dashes and stuff. So now we're showing some of his basic normal attacks. You know, they aim for nice spots. They got really good oomph and they feel great. You know, for
the hard kick
punch,
is
he
interesting.
Also steps forward slightly when he does it. Now, next you can see this kind of fun little thing. After he shoots off an attack, there's kind of like a very Dan-esque visual that happens after that.
This is what I'm expecting, though.
Very Dan thing.
Street Fighter 5 has a...
He's got a cool kick like you just saw, which you know, knocks people around, and a middle attack that...
His stance looks weird, though.
Actually surprisingly quickly, and you know, manages to hit pretty powerful.
His throw looks exactly what I'm expecting from Dan.
Aggressive way.
But his stance looks odd.
His throws and all of his moves kind of just scream Dan is what we were trying to go for. Next, we're going to talk about his special moves. So we've got some of the special...
I like that Oken special.
First up is his Gadoken.
The Gadoken.
So now we've actually added like a way to delay it by holding the punch button. This also extends how far it'll go, so it's a very useful tool. Now we also have the Dan... This the Danetsken, I think. He's actually got, you know, like...
The Dan Shoryuken goes surprisingly far.
This is something from the Ultra Street Fighter 4 Omega Edition. It can be linked to some of the other attacks that we showed before to lock your opponent and, you know, give them nice little combos. And next up we have the V skills to talk about. So a lot of people know V skills. There are two types of V skills in this game. For Dan, both of them are actually taunts.
Oh, the taunt is the V skill.
So this is actually not just in taunting account. It also
you can cancel the Shoryuken into a taunt.
The other taunt, we can't show you just yet, but it can cancel normal moves when they hit. So it's a pretty technical move. Next, we're going to talk about
that's sick.
Combos.
He actually has taunt FADC.
I'm punching this guy really nicely. So you can see these are some of the attacks that we showed you before. It's really good to string together some cool combos with specials and other attacks. This is something we haven't talked about just yet, but this is a attack that uses the V trigger. His moves are something that really reward practice, so it's good to get used to him.
That EX special move right there is really useful, it seems.
Now, unlike the V skill, there aren't actually any special effects or functions for the taunt. They're kind of just useless. But there are actually some executable hidden commands you can look forward to. So, maybe they're not totally useless. So please take a look at this footage, and once the game is out, play around and see what you can find. Next up, we have another video.
The taunt being the V skill is really a cool highlight. Oh, we do have a trailer. Oh, you can't hear the sound.
So this is his legendary taunt.
Wait, what was the legendary taunt?
Laughing while they were making that.
Wait, was that the CA?
So up until now, we've been examining Dan in depth, but I understand you have more to discuss, Mr. Matsumoto. So actually, the other day we held a costume design contest where we solicited character costume designs from our players, and the costumes voted to be the
top two are jury costumes, right?
What was it about Jinxie's costume that helped it?
They were not the top designs, though. People are just thirsty, so they upvote. Myself included, by the way. I did upvote these costumes as well. At least the left one, not even the right one. One thing that's really weird, though, is there was a Vega costume that was exceptionally well done. That honestly should have won the contest. Maybe I can find it so I can show it to you. There it is. That's the costume. That didn't even make it to the top final vote, by the way. Okay, this costume did not make it to the finals.
Now, it's really exciting to see
and please tell me this isn't like the best costume that you've ever seen. I'm not even a fan of Vega, but this costume is sick, and it didn't even make it to the voting phase, right? Man, I really hope there's a little bit more to this than seeing the Dan. Like, the highlight so far has been the Dan taunt being the V skill.
You can stretch it, it'll probably be fine. You'll still be
I think I would have been less mad if it was just 5 minutes of Dan and no recap. Think about it this way. I think they took like 20 minutes to announce the entire roadmap and announce 4 characters. And for this one, they took 35 minutes to show that Dan can do Shoryuken into taunt cancel. I think that's it though, right? Let's briefly talk about what we just saw, okay? Here are my thoughts. Obviously, I didn't want to talk over this too much, right? But this is a bit disappointing. But at the same time, I didn't have high expectations, and really people shouldn't have had high expectations for this announcement to begin with, simply because it wasn't really an announcement that, like, what could they have possibly shown us that we didn't already know? We already had the roadmap for Season 5. We already knew Dan was coming. We got a little bit of Dan gameplay, which I think is nice, but for the most part, this was an ad for people who don't actually play Street Fighter. This is part of the Tokyo Game Show, right? So this is a perfect opportunity to show, hey, we don't just do Monster Hunter, we don't just do Resident Evil, there's this thing called Street Fighter. I think this was the main gist of the presentation. Obviously, if you're already a Street Fighter 5 player, this presentation was disappointing because we technically didn't really get a whole lot of news here, right? So yeah, considering that, it's a bit sad, but yeah, we did see that Dan can actually FADC taunt and then combo afterwards. I think that's actually really sick. The fact that he can actually cancel a Shoryuken into a roll taunt is amazing. I wonder if this is actually going to be a theme for potentially Street Fighter 6, because I'm hoping to see a mechanic that includes cancels in a similar fashion that Street Fighter 4 did it. But if you watched my video, my latest YouTube video, I criticized the focus attack there, right? But I love the FADC portion of that mechanic. So hopefully Capcom can find a way to do something like that for Street Fighter 6, and potentially this was also the inspiration taken directly from there for Dan and the taunt cancel. But yeah, this is just speculation at this point, right? But yeah, just wanted to clarify on this, since there were a lot of people on my latest YouTube video who think I don't like the FADC, for example, which is not true at all. I'm a big fan of FADC, and I hope to see it in a future Street Fighter game. That being said, this presentation really didn't have a lot more than that. Seeing that Dan can cancel into V-skill, and the V-skill is a taunt, is pretty cool. But yeah, he did say, by the way, they did say, we hope you enjoy Street Fighter V for many more years to come. Okay? And I think this is pretty much a confirmation that Street Fighter V is, like Street Fighter 6, the earliest that we can expect Street Fighter 6 is 2023. And we basically got another round of confirmation with that. He wouldn't have said, look forward to Season 5, or like he specifically said, look forward to many more years. So yeah, we have to expect like at least 2 more years. Actually, like two and a half more years until Street Fighter 6, which is, even that is going to be the earliest date. This should be interesting. I hope Capcom really, they take their time at least with this. Street Fighter V is in a somewhat good space, but, well, I think people were hoping the netcode would be addressed at some point again. I don't think this is going to happen. Just so you know. We got some Dan updates, which is nice, but Dan does look sick for the most part. One thing I don't like about Dan, though, is his neutral stance and his walk animation. It didn't look good. I don't know what it is. Was it just me, or did his walk animation not look good? The rest did look good, though. I think the special move animations looked fine. They looked wonky, which is exactly what they should look like when it's Dan. His legs are too far apart. I don't know, there was something off about the neutral stance. It's potentially because they actually took the neutral stance and put it on Kage's model, right? And now they had to come up with a different stance for Dan. Maybe that's the reason why it looks off. I don't really know. The other animations look good, though. I agree. Like, he had a stick up his ass. Anyways, that's basically all my thoughts, though. There's really not a whole lot to say about this presentation other than, well, this was an ad for people who don't actually play Street Fighter, and not really for people who play Street Fighter. So yeah, nothing really more to say about that.